Yo, you see, you have to go out there for your own, you know. Yeah, man. Learn life by yourself, my friend. Don't watch them. As if you follow them, all your life will.
People don't know the thing called body podcast in the real life. We not take back shot, right?
What's up, people? Welcome to the Yaad&abroad podcast.
Love the foolishness, you say, man.
Yes, in the world.
Yo, the man would even say, Ella, wipe your mouth.
Ella, wipe your mouth, Ella. People don't know the thing, go. They are again another week. I said, yeah. Happy Mother's Day again.
Yeah.
You know, Mother's Day
Yeah,
was
big up,
yesterday,
big up.
Sunday the 8th.
Yeah.
Get me? Yeah, so bless up the mother that will spend them Mother's Day with them kids who spoke to their mom on the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm see my one.
FaceTime she come up.
Yeah, FaceTime. Yeah, no, man, you know, if she come up, you're going to get to see her. I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, my sister sneaking at town for her
Oh, is it?
from New York and spend some, you know, them had a dinner. I don't know if my older brother did make it, them did invite him, but I don't know if he did make it with his wife, but she and her grandparents, them and my sister go at dinner. And
Nice.
look like them had a good time.
Yeah. Sound like a good time, yes? The kids come link up and the grandkids come link up.
Yeah.
See me? Everett? No, you reach out to mommy, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
If start laugh, because him think of some bully thing in the pan.
yeah. You know, say, catch me off guard.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah, man. But they are right, I think. So, bless up, get bless up, Father. Just grateful for them, you know, for them there around and think, you know that go. Definitely. Lots of what we achieve.
Sister celebrate her first Mother's Day.
Yeah, and then she hit her first too. So
yeah, congratulations.
It was a pleasure, you know. Towards us many. So yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the man them stay. Kick it after way. Okay, kick it after way.
I'm good, you know. I'm good. I have the both girls upstairs. For some reason, it work out that we have both of them every Monday when we are record.
Yeah.
Which is a good, you know, get to spend some time with little one.
Yeah.
You know, and the big one. So I'm grateful. We're in a good, for the most part, we're in a good place.
Yeah.
I don't know for the
Which
most
is
part,
right.
but I'm in an alright place.
Yeah,
In an alright place. As we talk more about the topic, then you kind of see what I go on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know,
which is right.
In an alright place.
Okay. Everett. Let's stay.
Thing alright. Another Monday, so you know, beginning of the week. And so forth, but we are coming out for the weekend, so fairly rejuvenated and just grateful, you know.
Yeah.
Start another week, another opportunity to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And just I look forward to, you know, to see where the week itself have in store. Weather-wise, that I time up a little bit now, and we're back at rain still, but besides that, like the cold pretty much out the door, so I look forward to better days and so forth. So overall, you know, better space than the last few weeks and such. But you know, grateful over there to drop these gems. That was a pleasure, you know. So everything up, man.
True.
Like it. Oh, I stay near
yeah, you dealing.
I was silenced there. Oh no.
Well, what did you get there? Gonna say,
Let's go unite. All right.
Yeah, I just call you all the names. He said, yeah, I call all with you. Never just say you do Huawei.
I mean, all is still money, you see me? Like what Ella say, yeah. You see me I say? We see better days ahead. You get me?
Definitely.
For me think say at the time I get a visit to my homeland after so much years. So
okay.
Yeah, you haven't been home, eh?
Yeah. But when time we get into the topic still, we kind of can talk about it, you see me?
Mm.
Before we even get into the topic, big up all of the returning listeners, with the ones. You get me? I say the new listeners, them who are joining the family, because we have a lot of new listeners coming in.
Yeah.
Me I say, I want to give thanks to them, everybody, everywhere in the Caribbean. You get me? In Europe, in Africa. You get me? I say, yeah, in Asia, everybody will listen to it. All over the world, I want to give thanks. Special shout out to Uno. You get me? If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop a video. You get me, I say? We're going.
Everett, there's something a while ago. Me, I try to figure out who the hell is just.
Yeah, but
You
you
say
know,
run, go over
like,
there. So I say run,
Yeah,
run.
run, go over there. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so I get it.
But if you have asked it, so if you don't want me to do, just watch the YouTube.
yeah. You show me after, because me, I want if I put my name on for
Yeah, when yeah, what go on?
yeah. The people and
I say run, run,
whatever platform you're listening to the podcast on, if it's on Spotify, if it's on Apple Podcasts, you get me, I say Google
Anchor
Podcasts,
app.
Anchor app, wherever, make sure you're lock in. You get me, I say follow whatever page it is, like the page, whatever option them give you.
Leave a review.
Yeah, leave a review and all of that, so you can keep posted. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, you get me, I say not every week, but we do have questionnaires sometime whenever we post a podcast. You get me? So we need the feedback from the listeners. So if you are listening to us on Spotify, sure you leave a comment or answer to whatever questionnaire we have going on. Please, please, we are begging people.
Yeah.
Get me? Go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You see me? Special big up to the Peter Tass Foundation. You know our thing go over there. So
Equal rights and
yeah,
justice.
make
Yeah.
sure
Legalize it.
go over the Peter Tash Facebook page or Instagram page and comment under one of the pictures, one of the posts, and say Yap family or Yard and Abroad podcast. Make them know say we send over there to come rip for the thing. If you need any kind of merch, make sure you wanna go to the Peter Tosh website. You get me and get all of the merch them. As the merch
Yeah.
them come out, you will see we are rock them. So
And definitely, like, you guys won't be disappointed. Lots of good content.
Mhm.
Them posts over there.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Informative stuff. Quite frequently. So certainly go check it out. When you're interested in the history, the music, so forth, the brand,
Yeah.
go check it out.
And if you want get in tune with representatives of that foundation, they have a thing called Tosh Tosh Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. Um, his daughter normally runs the one on Facebook, and his granddaughter runs the one on Instagram on the official Peter Tosh page. So if you want to chat with them, join the live, comment, and see who they in the chat and all them thing there. Just make sure to lock in every Tuesday. And
Yep.
I follow the page them and I'll like the page them and all them thing there. Forget updates on when the next Tosh Tuesday will be. And you can be featured on the Tosh Tuesday. So though shy away from asking if you're interested in joining in the chat or the panel or whatever they have going on. You
Yes,
see me?
sir.
So, enough for that now, promotion and all them things. The John Star, my movie talker phone. I wonder, now you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
good, man.
All right.
So like still name out, they're good.
Ja.
Why?
Ja.
With your folly and nasty like.
People. Neil, where you say now? Continue talking my IG.
John Star, you just
Yeah.
shook.
Yeah.
Me need a sound effect for the lightning or a gunshot or something.
Yeah.
But today's topic at hand derived from a conversation me I held that in a group chat, and it derived from that conversation we have today. You
Yeah.
see me, I said, people, the topic for today is suicide watch. Reason, of course, why that topic there is because we had a conversation today in our group chat. Bunch of our brethren them there in our group chat, and one of my brethren reach out and say, "Yo, the question was, who in
Have
the
any,
group chat ever
well,
have who in the group chat ever had any thoughts of suicide?" And what was the next part to it, Elder?
that was the start. Have
That was the
anyone
started.
I
It was
ever
a
thought
two-part
about?
question. It was a two-part question.
Yeah. I think how you deal with it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
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 That,
We can't go
that
back and
was it.
search it, but let's tackle the first part.
Mm,
So the first part is if you ever had suicidal thoughts.
yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, me I did it. I don't know if I did the first person see it, but me I the first person respond to it and say, "Yo, me,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you get me?" And the follow-up question was, I think it was like when we're how you feel and all of them things there. And for me, I I have had different episodes of suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
You get me? I say forget more in depth. When we have the conversation in the group chat, we just say, yeah, me did. You get me? I say, but not expounding on the situation or you get me talking too deep in the situation of what happened. You see me? But it was a couple episodes where it happened. And it strongly did derive from like multiple things. We did in a foreign one time and we couldn't move around.
Yeah.
We couldn't move around how we want to because
Explain when you say you couldn't move around. What you mean?
we weren't legal residents per se.
Okay.
You get me? I say we live in the country and we are immigrants of course and we weren't legal. You get me? I say so you have to mind what you do. You don't want to get not saying you want to get entangled or you want dep on the police radar or anything of that sort. You see me? I say you still want to keep a clean slate regardless. But you're skeptic of everything. You get
Pretty
me?
much I live in a fear.
Yeah, you don't want to go certain places, you don't want to do certain things because you feel like say yo, you put yourself out there to get, you know what I mean, wrapped up with enforcement.
Yeah.
You get me?
But
So
I live under the radar.
yeah, essentially. I try to, but
Mm-hmm.
you really can't because a foreigner there.
Yeah.
You see me? And you can't get certain work, so you have to, you know, you have to do some of them work that enough people don't want to do on them things. You see me? And I could move back and forth guy yard when I want to. Because some of the time I just want to get away. You
Mm-hmm.
see me? Just for free your mental, just for free your thoughts. You see me? Before I come over here going into like a young adolescent.
Mm.
See me? Come over here got college. First year of college, of course, everything did not what it's supposed to be. So that kind of farm like before that, prior to that, my little brother did pass away. Right before I left Jamaica. Come
Okay.
start sixth farm. You get me? I said my brother passed away. And then couple of years after that, of course, I come over here. So I'm still there up to this day, I feel like I'm still there in the grieving process.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
fully grieve because I had to be that shoulder where my mother that lean upon. You feel me I say? And with that plus resentment towards things where she did do and what she did say, my father, you feel me I say? The relationship with them have, the relationship with me and them have, the situation where I go on in a foreign, I just lose my daughter. You get me? I say within a 4
Explain when, cause yeah, be real vague,
yeah,
and um
because
more on the listeners them. I'ma get it. Say you have certain things you
yeah,
keep private, but
not even that,
Um,
but there's so much entwined with it that may I try say as much. You get me?
no, I don't want you to say as much. More you unpack it because it might go over people's head for ear.
Yeah.
You understand? Can you lose your daughter through a miscarriage or
Yeah, it was a miscarriage.
okay? And
Yeah.
how was that experience? Because I know we talked about that before already, but for the new listeners, how was that experience for you?
Well, for me, I mean, in all honesty, me never really too think about it because me did far from the situation. You get me? I say
Yeah.
so. We really never get into it with person, my baby mother. You know what I mean? She go through it, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I feel like say she have some kind of resentment to me because it's like me never go through it with her
Yeah.
first. You feel me? I say so. Me not really know up to this day. Like me don't know how me really feel. Me know say me lose at that time. Me vex about it. I'm sad about it. But you know what I mean?
You still never
Feel like
process
We
it.
yeah,
haven't really processed
me
it as
fully
yet.
yeah, me not fully process it.
Which is why we want at this moment introduce Mr. Michael Abrams, who we have had on the episode before, but who is a mental health professional. And we feel like a topic like this, it's important to have somebody who is a mental health professional and can provide some support,
Yeah.
especially understanding the culture from Yard, because again, just because somebody's a mental health professional doesn't mean them can effectively provide support. Yes, it works, but understanding the culture helps. And Michael being from Jamaica and living here in the US and being a mental health professional, definitely feel like his input will bring value for people, for listeners. So bless up yourself, Mikey.
Yo, big up, brother.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the second invite. Last
Yes.
time they hacked the fool. This time I'm gonna behave better.
yes.
And for the listeners, them it is mental health month. Isn't it, sir?
So, Neely,
Yeah.
how you promote mental health and have that a display, brother?
Alright.
You feel some Manchester United. You feel some Manchester United that contribute to depression.
It go towards because
Hey, that is a risk factor, sir.
yeah, you're right.
Triggering.
I mean, you know, so that's because you say it kind of trigger me a while ago too. Fuck you say it. Yeah, because we never really pay attention to it. Seriously, when you say it, I look on the shirt and I wonder if a Nick logo you talk about and
But I didn't realize, yeah.
realize. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But how you do, sir?
You know, I mean, fantastic. All is well. What we can control.
Yeah.
Anything where we don't have no, we have to recognize the circle of influence and our circle of control.
Yeah.
So more while just live. As life about adapting to your circumstances and learning to cope with it.
Yeah.
Versus fighting where you can't manage.
Which is something where we from the Caribbean tend to do a lot.
Right.
And that's how we that talk about when we introduce Michael, whenever I get a chance to explain everything, but we don't have the conversation about experiencing suicide or suicidal thoughts and feeling like there's nothing we can do about it and I feel hopeless and not wanting or not opening up to bridging them in our circle and share what we have got through. So nearly just a share film experience as Michael come on about him experience some of the things where him feel contributed towards him depression and suicidal thoughts. Yeah. So if you have no questions, Mikey, and you want to log in, definitely jump in.
Yeah, man. Me go and listen to get a feel for what the narrative already developed.
Yeah.
I mean, chime in when we can. I mean, we don't want to start it off. Well, let me say, suicide is a significant. It's all right. Me talk part, all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, suicide is a significant issue, right? And sometimes we take it for granted because we always are trying to minimize it as people being weak and not being strong, and people can't hold them own.
Yeah.
And some of that, the stigma of mental health feed into that. So you know what I mean? Because you have personal stigma, social stigma, and societal stigma as it relates to mental health. So sometimes people are dealing with suicidal ideations and not necessarily want to open up about it, which I may get a little piece, catch a little piece of where Neely did I say, and some of where Nick did I say. But just for highlight the seriousness of suicide, I'm gonna share some statistics with you. Know. Not for scare you, know, but just for show and say, yo, this is a significant problem. I'm not just talk about it's not limited to just to the developing world. It's also an issue in the developed world as well. Like say, so in a 2019 worldwide, over 700,000 people commit suicide. And now that are just the numbers where them can document or that are proven cases of suicide. Others just get reported as some people who commit suicide, their death is not counted as suicide because them just chalk it up to unknown circumstances. See? So again, them they get overlooked. So we're talking about 700,000 people. And suicide is the fourth leading cause of death worldwide. So I know just just to localize to your local area. But if you want to look on suicide in your local area, suggest you go to www.cdc.gov, and them have whole heap of statistics there on suicide. Also, if you go on the World Health Organization website, you'll find good statistics about it. So so in a 2019 worldwide, 77% of the suicides that occurred were in low and middle income countries. So we're talking about places like Jamaica, other parts of the developing world. So,
so anywhere poverty high.
Yeah. So third world countries a lot and so forth.
Right. So socioeconomics is a big part of it too. And sometimes it's just really a lack of access to care, or people's willingness to access or seek care just simply because of the stigma associated with saying, hey, listen, I struggle with that issue, yeah, but I really need somebody to step in and help me. Now, so so let me give you an example. Among wealthy countries, the United States has the highest rates of suicide per 100,000 individuals. All right. So men's suicide rates are 3.5 to 4.5 times the rate of females.
Why you feel
higher?
Why you feel?
But wait, before
go ahead.
We're gonna ask him why I feel like the males have a higher rate.
When feel contributed, yeah.
Before you ask that, what is the most the highest contributing factor to suicide?
Several factors contribute to suicide. Depression is a major factor. There are other risk factors like relationship struggles, breakup, intimate partner violence. When we talk about intimate partner violence, we use is a broad term. We include domestic violence. But the reason we use intimate partner violence is because the dynamics of relationships have changed to where you have people who are hook up, you have your side chick, you have this chick, that chick. So all of that fall into intimate partner violence.
Okay.
Right. So and then no, this is a big one, but sometimes we overlook. Any previous attempt at suicide is a significant risk factor for a future attempt.
Interesting.
And so a history of trauma and abuse. So people who suffer from emotional and physical abuse, there's a high risk of suicide among them as well. We're talking about sexual assault as well. That is something too where somebody get violated and it's difficult to adapt to or even forget about the fact that you were assaulted. So we find that sometimes people may ruminate on the negative experience. No matter about rumination. Basically, no matter about you get on a loop in your head, and the same thing spin over and over and over again. It's almost like you just see a cow, a chewing cud. I eat the same piece of grass over and over again. Bring it down, bring it up back. Same kind of concept as it relates to mental health. So now may I use that example because that's the best example we use within psychology or mental health to describe what really happened. Right. So we talk about depression already, and sometimes you have people with a history of substance abuse and alcohol related disorders. Part of the reason you see so many people with substance abuse related issues may attempt suicide or why it's a risk factor is that the people's inhibitions are significantly reduced. So they're more likely to take chance or participate in high risk behaviors.
Explain that for inhibitions reduce. Explain that in a layman's term.
All right. So basically, hey,
may I experience depression?
Common sense get put one side.
Okay.
People now you don't really think about what you do. You just act just because you have the idea in your head. It's not like a situation where they sit back and say, yo, me match up the thing. Or you may say, yo, the calculus now apply, so why would I take that action?
And that made a reason with some of Reggie them in the group today. Because I say when a person go through depression or and I have them thoughts, say, them not think rational. So if you say me I go call somebody and check in and say this is what me I go through. A lot of times the thought then I come through and the thing with them are stress over may not even be as in our mind, may not be major, but to them it's a major thing. Right? And them feel hopeless and them not see no other way out of this, resolving this. And sometimes I'm not gonna reach out to you and say, yo, Everett, this me I got you, you know. And you talk me through it because me I rationalize and say, yo, it's so big that nobody can help me come out.
Yeah, no matter what him say to me, it don't make a difference.
And me not even say it not gonna make a difference. Me not want to burden you because you have your family thing I deal with. And me not want to put my problem on nobody because nobody not gonna really understand.
Yeah.
And because of that thought process there, it puts you in an even deeper hole mentally. And your only resolve may feel like, you know what? Might as well come out of this and stop be a burden to other people.
True.
Right. One of the things we always try to get people to recognize too, you know what I mean? Hey, suicide is final.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from
return.
it. And then sometimes too, people don't recognize that it's a permanent solution to what could potentially be a temporary problem.
Yes.
And I mean, let's be honest in here. So how many of us having this conversation are really comfortable with asking somebody else for help?
I've gotten there. We have a good support system.
It take you a while.
It take me a while.
All right. And so if the person where you feel most comfortable with reasoning with not available, what you do? What are your options then? What are the options you're willing to explore?
Most likely none.
So that's why I would love for you share some coping skills and some things.
But before you do that though, sorry, me interject when you were about to let us when Eladega asks you, why is it that males seem to have a higher rate?
Males tend to have a higher suicide rate because for one, they use more lethal means for attempt suicide than women.
Oh, interesting.
A man will put him gun in his mouth. A man will jump off a bridge. May run him car over a bridge, run him car in a wall. More times women tend to take pills or they may slit them wrists. But chances are they may get found before them actually pass off. But with men it's different. I mean, and then sometimes too, in some weird ways, you have things where people just can't recover from. I'll give you an example. I once had a client that he attempted suicide twice by jumping off the same bridge. And each time he damaged his neck. And his depression became, he can't get anything right, let alone commit suicide. Taking him own life should be the easiest.
Them can't even get, yeah.
Right. So that is something else now where we start to play into his whole pattern of behaviors as it relates to whether I'm seek help. Because again, he ended up feeling useless, not only useless, but hopeless in terms of, okay, here's this thing that's supposed to solve all of my problems. I may have difficulties executing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, we definitely want to go into the coping skills, some stuff, and I've nearly continue to share theme experience.
Right.
But we definitely want to go for a break, pay some bills, and then we are going to come back. So, we'll be right back.
Yeah, man.
Yo, you see, you have to go out there for your own, you know. Yeah, man. Learn life by yourself, my friend. Don't watch them. Cause if you follow them, all your life will end.
All right, people. So we're there again. As the man say, of course, we have we guests. You know,
Mr. Michael Abrams himself.
the Abrams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mental professional.
Yeah.
What your title, Mike?
What are with that, brother?
But that's why the people them know, so the advice, so we are give. No.
You're modest, so.
No, I don't know can't think this time. But that's why people know say the person where give impact is not just somebody where read something.
Claim.
Yeah.
Claim the right
well,
stuff.
all right. So since you put it that way, the boss, you look at my face, me all that old still, even though it's them gray area. At 20 years, me I do this thing.
Yeah.
Since
All by experience,
2001, right? Yeah. I have an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree in psychology and counseling psychology.
Okay.
Need for update my license, but we still can practice the craft in our state of Florida. And of course, in an environment like this, as long as me not give nobody no advice, because state laws different
Yeah.
when it comes to what you can do. So when I share yes, just general information. Right. Yeah, but me have a background. I have 20 years experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So certainly you're qualified. So
Ella,
great news.
Wait, you didn't ask him the question, or he did actually answer that though. You didn't ask him about what caused men for.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, I think in there allude to the means by which them attempt suicide.
And go more.
Yeah.
Is it me as say?
And I mean, man watch football, so Arsenal fans, you know that go.
Oh,
hold on.
Really? Yeah, that's right.
Hold on there.
So I mean, those are some of the reasons why men are also probably suffer.
Says a Manchester fan.
Huh? So yesterday the Arsenal man them suffer from a chronic.
Yeah, Arsenal are chronic, At least Man U won, but Arsenal won, everlasting man. The worst than migraine.
May I make a side with that one there?
All right.
Yo, you're not even have your scarf anymore. You don't even have your scarf anymore. No, you're not have it in a view.
Only when Arsenal win.
No, I always Arsenal.
You don't have it in a view, brother, anymore. You used to have it in a, but it's like you just remove it one session and it never come back.
Me not different environment, but we are continue because I don't want to send out no cars for yourself.
Environment today now. Just a different background.
Is that no different? My office set up different.
All right, yeah, man, excuses, but
back to
as it answer, Mr. Abrams.
Back to the pattern.
Yeah, so and another thing we have to look out for too when it comes to suicide. Suicides generally is in a cluster in our community. So if you have a community cluster, then there's likely that somebody else in our community are going to commit suicide. So matter about community cluster. Say you live in an independent city and say 30, 40 people commit suicide. It's likely that somebody else in another community there will commit suicide again. So
So the environment is important.
Environmental issues, right?
To, yeah.
Right.
Community traits.
Okay. Interesting.
And so our inability, another thing to our inability to cope with stress. I mean, when we talk about stress, and we talk about, stress is unavoidable, but it is also manageable. So sometimes we have to we have to learn to recognize whether the stress is acute versus chronic. Acute stress is short-term stress. Acute chronic stress is more long-term, so it's deep-seated. So the stress. So what are your stressors? What is stressors in your community, or even in your immediate environment where you live, the household where you live in? Because sometimes that's the problem there. But because we find or consider home to be a safe place, we don't never normally consider that this could be the source of the struggles that we have.
Lord
So again,
Jesus,
come back to relationship issues.
I know that from personal experience.
Right.
I never get to the point in which I share in the group chat earlier. Never get to the point where I think suicidal thoughts, but I've gotten to the point where there are times when I feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And as we share, it's a good thing. Say, me have some people in my circle I can really talk to, and them are gonna give me advice. Or them will call and check for me.
Right.
Cause that's one of the things when I put in place, Richard. Reach out to some of my friends, them, yo, how things are go, and them do the same for me. Me have a brethren where more time me call and check on him. I realize that there are times when me I go through some things, and me do that more. Me reach out to more people, I check on them.
Right.
And me have a brethren where Miguel will say, all right, brethren, hear the plan. And my turn today. Oh, you stay. And nobody give me the generic. I have to have some people who pay attention to you and hold you accountable and now make you give them. No, I'm a good man. All right, cool. I'll leave it at that because sometimes we're so good at covering it up. You understand? And then we said, no, so what I want? And then we ask me, how the girl live, how your relationship, how work, how this. And him go through it one by one and I ask. And him now take no regular full answer from me.
Right. Yeah.
And I can't brush it off.
Right, the usual. Hey, how you doing, Nick? Me there.
Yeah, man, I'm a good man.
What does that
Everything
mean?
all right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand?
What does that mean?
And we say, all right, on a scale of 1 to 10, which pay there? And I say, yo, me there 6 or 7. And I say, all right, wait till I take for you get to 8 or 9.
Right.
Or why a 6? Why a 6 and not a 5?
Right.
Again, I say, Bridget, I'm a good man, no man. Let's take this year. I love that him do that. I have other bridges that do that. You understand me? Because we're so good at trying to conceal it when we are struggle. Like recently, we put up a post out of the blues. Me have bare people reach out to me. We put up a post and say, yo, don't just ask me if me okay. Ask me if me okay.
Right.
You understand? Don't just say, hey, you good?
Yeah.
No, what's wrong with you? You understand me? Because and an expose where me I say, you can't, what do you do when you achieve everything where you think you do and yet still you're not happy? Because enough of we have some goal where we are pursuing. We want to come a foreign, we want to get a scholarship, we want to get a contract, we want to get this. And then when we get them things there, it put more pressure upon we. How do we cope with it? What are the things we put in place? Which are where Mikey I got to talk about in a few of coping skills and things we have to do. But if we don't have things in place, we achieve everything in the world as miserable. Michael Jackson have all the money in the world and couldn't sleep. He's miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Some of the most successful people that commit suicide, miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So, yeah. Go on talk, cause me I get emotional.
Nah, man, you're good, man.
Yeah.
You can go and do your thing, man. Because you see, the thing is this. This is a topic where a whole heap of people shy away from. So me ask you.
Taboo still.
Yeah, man. But we are try erase that.
Yeah.
So nobody use that language there again, because the narrative where we use to cement certain types of behaviors.
True.
All right.
True.
So if we are start about suicide as a taboo, then hey,
yeah,
we don't want to perpetuate that message there. The
True.
message we want for sure is that hey, suicide is preventable.
Yeah.
But only if we act in these particular ways. Like say, hey, Nikita talk about check-in. That's an important thing to develop. And so rather than ask a man, how you doing? You'll get a generic answer, which way I must say, me good. Our man loves say, me there I know. There and I struggle. There and I sufferation. Those are not answers. So to prevent yourself from getting answers like that, a better question to ask is possibly, tell me about your day. Tell me what was fulfilling about today. Tell me what you would like to do a little bit different about today. Tell me what's the high point of your day. So you force them now you present an open-ended question to them, which means them can't give a yes or a no. See? How you doing? Sometimes, even though it started out with how, and it's meant to be an open-ended question, you're likely to get a one-word answer.
Mm-hmm.
One-word answer, you have to probe. That one. Oh, so you're good. Yeah, man, then want make the day good. What you do today? Who you hang out with? Who you feel like you need? What happened today you can be grateful about?
How can I support you?
Yeah. What are your protective factors? Are them the things that we are trying to explore when we ask them, as we are talking about checking in and reaching out to people and having a support system in place? Because sometimes when it comes to suicide, we take for granted where, like say, all right, say a man you know we usually clean cut. Seeing all of a sudden he might grow a beard, but there's no real purpose for him to grow a beard. In terms of it not fit with them normal grooming behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
These are sometimes the first signs of say somebody in a trouble.
I nearly miss him in barber appointment. So
no, we're not talking about Neil either, brother. We just say.
Talk about it. While I talk about it, Michael, while I talk about it, Nick come over me already and see me and I say, yo, what? You know, I cut it. I mean, I say, you know, say it was a rough day and I miss the appointment, but I still end up have a pay for it.
Yeah, they were from last time, but they was.
So why you not sit up on next one? Me I say, yo, me and the barber schedule now work out, you know. You see me? So me serious.
Concern, you know. Kind of so I make just say good.
See, these are the things you pay attention to.
Yeah. How you go on, you just want to make sure say you're good. Have a good reason as to why you're outside of your character.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something wrong. Yeah.
So why is Neely isolating? Why is Neely withdrawn?
Yeah.
And so even though I no common practice for roll up a Neely yard without an invitation, if you know hear from him for a couple of days, nobody call a bagger man and ask if you hear from Neely, warm to Neely. You may have just go over Neely yard, go knock on the door.
Yeah.
Saying and so in a way we take accountability for each other versus just leaving it up to the man. Because most of we know, so come on now. We already admit so we don't really readily ask for help. Mm-hmm. And some of the times too, how some of us ask for help, it not direct. We ask for help in indirect ways. We're like you want the next man to fill in the blank field. So people will reason like that, you have to know that and recognize that about them as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why things is the struggle rough, you know. Why I never know how me I go pay my light bill. Boy, I never know me I go pay the water bill. Is he asking for help or I'm just a vent? So sometimes your desire to understand where I go on, you have to ask a probing question or two. Nick earlier presented the scaling question where you can possibly use to find out how a person doing. And a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How are you doing? All right, a 1. When I jump to 1, I go make it a 8. Because we have to deal with this incrementally. So what will make it a 2? And if you're not ready for a 2, all right, what will make it a 1.5? What will make it a 1.25? What will improve your feelings in this particular moment? So these are things that we always have to pay attention to. I mean, say for example, if Neely did start giving all our personal belongings, or him did preoccupied with death, or him research ways to kill himself, or him because again, I'm on my ear, me say kill himself, and I say, boy, that's too strong. But hey, that's what it is. That's what suicide is. It's intentionally taking one's life. So we can't really go around that by tiptoeing around the real issue. You have to ask direct questions.
Well,
go ahead.
Today we are talking about it, and one of our brethren that the group share say, yo, you know, some experience them thoughts, and one of our brethren, and this is a point to me that I have to share with him. When our brethren, I say, brethren, what kind of thought that? Yo, we never, brethren, you can't think about them thing there. You have to just reach out to it. I mean, I say, brother, that is, I know you have the best intention, but understand, say, a reaction like that.
I want the reason why.
It sound, because it's like, yeah, say, yo, brethren, you're mad for you think them way there.
Right.
And them feel judged now because, again, remember, you're not thinking rational enough.
Yeah.
Right. So you already not think rational, and then the person where may mention, may jokingly share it as a way for ask for help, and your natural reaction. First thing me I gonna do, me I withdraw and say, see, judgment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And because of that, now the people who their own when we feel like we could have share, we feel say them a judgment. Not that they are judging me now, but because I'm not in a rational mindset at that time, anything somebody say, I'm being defensive, I'm see it as judgment. So I say we have to be careful, and especially when we address it, we can't address it publicly. We have to go one away and communicate with the person, because we feel more comfortable share with you one away than in our group. Because we don't want, as we mentioned, we don't want to see him as smart, soft, or a punk, or whatever. Right. So yeah.
And you see, at one point in my life, I was uncaring, cold, callous.
Yes.
When it comes to people saying, hey, because my brethren, that GSC, my brethren say, yo, I feel like I'll kill myself. And guess what me do? Somebody when me say me care about.
Give me up.
Give me up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, push this piece of rope, you go kill yourself. Right? But
not intentionally, but we are joke about it.
No, man, it's serious, man. Because he might be enough to live for in our world, right? Because I saw we think. You can't tell a man, say, yo, it might sound like a good idea, but never tell a man, say, you have so much to live for. There's no reason for you want to commit suicide. That have nothing to do with the state of mind.
Yeah.
Especially when a person is homeless. So anyway, throw the rope, get him, man. And it so happened that he never come to school the next day. And I have to ask what happened to me the whole day. The whole day, me frost. Because now me worried about this man here. Because yesterday, me throw a rope game, so he go kill himself. And then he not come to school the following day. And me I tell you, that was one of the most stressful time in my life. You don't know how the type of pressure will take off from me when I see the man come to school a day later, brother. So from that, I decide to now go approach suicide or anybody with suicidal ideations in that way. So sometimes you have to be careful not to be insensitive about what a person has struggled with. And the topic of suicide is really broad and far-reaching. So we might go all over the place and come back to something different, because something else I got always a pop up. So, like for example, a person with a family history of suicide is at risk of committing suicide.
Mm-hmm.
A population we tend to overlook is the elderly, because again, they don't want to feel like a burden to anybody.
True.
And a lot of times they suffer in silence, because everybody thinks Gramps sitting on the porch, a rocking chair means him good.
He might enjoy life.
He might enjoy life, right? He might enjoy him golden years, but it's not necessarily the case. Again, we not take enough time to connect with people. And again, a good coping skill, when Nikita mentioned, we might not see it that way they do, but checking in with somebody is a good coping skill. It's what we consider a protective factor, a social support network, you know? The protective factors are the things that you can rely upon in your time of needs in your community. It can be a person, it can be a group, it can be a church, it can be a community leader, it could be a mosque, it could be anything that make that is able to help to center you is beneficial in that regard. But anyways, we don't want to dominate the conversation. I know me alone in it.
No man,
you're good, man. You drop gems.
Yeah, make good point.
Yeah,
You drop gems, man.
The
So,
implications, you know.
I'm glad you bring up the elderly, because I think I shared in the group on the podcast already when my father did come live with me. Here I was thinking me I give him the opportunity of a lifetime, bring him from, him when I'm older years, get a nice house so him can sit in and have all of them things there. Every night I come home, I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And he burn up him green card, him have to go back home. Because when him there home, him have interaction. We're here in private. Me there work at daytime, I see him come home. The man in a tears.
Right.
You understand me? Me like, and me I get upset. And that's one another next thing where people don't realize when people are go through depression and have suicidal thoughts, we take personal offense to it, like
right.
It's about we. It's not about we, boss.
Or the person.
It's not about we. In another moment, there's a virgin we never come to it. We have a virgin who commit suicide, and I tell you. But it upset when we find out. Because I say, brother, I'm there right here, so. And the man will come to me, and then I have to check myself, and I say, brother, it's not about me. It's not about me. Somebody I go through something. Yo, my job for try figure it out. It's unfortunate, but me can't get upset if him not see the, or she not see the need for come talk to me.
Right. And so let me pose a question to you, see, as it relates to suicide. So Nick,
yeah,
are any man in the forum at the moment here? Should I show up and confide in you that I am contemplating suicide? Do you keep my secret, or do you get me help?
May I get your help?
All right. Good answer.
May I get your help?
All right. But how many people do I go keep the secret? I'm thing this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try work it out we are gonna work it out by ourselves.
No, may I guide you to help. Yeah.
And do you have the type of resource or the skill set to manage such a situation? So the point I make to you is that, hey, it's not necessary to keep that the secret there. Him can vex you the all him want, or she can vex you the all she want, call you snitch, whatever. That's not a secret you keep.
Yeah.
Anybody confide in you, say them a contemplate suicide. Get them help.
Yeah.
Another thing you have to do, depending on the person, well, with most people, don't tell them, hey, me schedule an appointment for you with the counselor.
No.
Accompany them to the appointment. Sit in at the lobby and wait for them. And that's the only way I guarantee them I go.
Yeah.
And if the therapist or whomever is willing to take collateral information, you can share what you know. Because a lot of times when people, I can't tell you number of times when people come in and them clam up, everything good. I'm okay, I'm doing well. Okay, so if you're doing as well as you say you are,
what are you doing here?
And so these are things we have to always be knowledgeable of and not be afraid to ask the question? How many of you are comfortable with saying to somebody, are you planning on killing yourself?
Ask the direct question. For
Direct
real.
question. Are you planning on committing suicide? Are you planning on killing yourself? That now put the idea in them head so that them can kill themselves. Them already dead already.
Yeah.
So you now put no idea in for them head. What you are basically trying to do is understand where they are emotionally. You might if you want to ask them, do you have a plan?
Yeah.
How would you execute this plan? Hey, do you own a weapon? Especially as it relates to men who use more lethal means to commit suicide. So you may have to find a way to separate a man from him weapons until you're certain him can safely exist in the household with it. If him say man cut him wrist, does he have the means to do it? So these are things you must understand when it comes to approaching someone with suicide, with suicidal. All right. If them say them have a plan, when you are gonna do it, how you are gonna do it, are great questions to ask. You can't be afraid of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
You let me see how Bob your head. What go on?
No, come just listen to you because a lot of the things that we say and you pose a question like who in here would actually ask that question here. Enough man now go ask some of them question there. So direct.
Well, I mean, I think we kind of feel like, as him say, you know, put it in your head, but you kind of feel like if you ask it, you feel like you insinuate that, or you at least create the idea for the person.
You know what? If it be a reality.
Right.
Exactly.
So
you know
what? So when
what?
I ask the question, then it's not real.
Technically, it's not a concern. You know, come up, you know, that bad. But as the right would say, it's already there.
Right.
No, I feel like that's a reverse psychology thing, though, because I think the fact that you ask, if it's already there, you somehow create a reality, say, yeah, think about that. And sometimes, you know, I think their response is kind of opposing to it then. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Hope it snap them out of that thought process. Then.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens sometimes.
When me say, yo, me I kill myself, like, right, I never realize that.
Yeah. Because like, no, they might hear it, you know, it sounds like it makes sense to come out of your mouth, but when you actually hear it, you say, you know, that makes sense. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Or it means to be a comic space side.
Right.
I feel like it has that effect there as well. So I can't understand why you say ask it. I mean, you watch shows, I think, for granted. Everybody understands that movies are made up, sure, but also as a reenactment of reality. Right. And you tend to realize that you have scenes where the man have a gun and say, shoot himself. You come and shoot himself.
Right.
And you see the police just say, all right, shoot yourself. Them cut the trigger and them throw the gun and say, shoot yourself. And they kind of get like a sense of reality now. Wait, we can't do that, they shoot themselves. The gun ready and loaded. Do I really want to pull this trigger? So I guess it can have that reaction for sure.
Right. And then the other thing is, too, you know, no matter what go on, never call them bluff.
Because you never really know, eh?
Right. Don't take the chance and calling them bluff because you will not know where the person really is.
Yeah.
In terms of what they're willing to do. And like me said before, I have to bring this up again. Don't leave it up to them to get care.
Yeah.
You have an active responsibility or active role in the process in getting them help. You're not trying to fix them, you're not trying to cure them. You just create the environment in which they can be safe. I mean, hey, all of us in here have our safety behaviors, right? What are safety behaviors? These are the things we do when we get stressed. These are the things that make us feel comfortable. It's make you feel at peace. But some of us have safety behaviors that are unhealthy, or we would consider to be maladaptive. It does not help you. Maladaptive. Oh, okay, so all right. So say for example, you see a person who you know struggle with depression, right? serious depression. And them drinking supposedly if it calm them down, right?
Or
So
smoking.
take the edge, or them smoking supposed to take the edge off. But they might get to the point where they might overindulge in whatever the substance might be. All right. Or people where have extreme behaviors outside of the norm of what they might do. All of a sudden, yeah, drive, because these are things that we don't really pay attention to. Reckless behaviors like driving without your seatbelt or speeding
not
down
act
the
out a
highway,
little bit.
right? Or you drink and a drive, something we never normally do.
Multiple sex partners.
Multiple
like
sex
reckless,
partners, right?
Yeah.
Any type of reckless behaviors you can think about. So sometimes you can to look on them as, you don't want to oversimplify the situation, and you don't want to make it too complex as well either. But you need to have some understanding of what the person is dealing with at the particular moment, so you can not make the decision for them, but support them in making the appropriate decision for themselves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, how many of us even realize that sometimes the way I talk about and we I deal with really subjective. As objective as we think we might be, what we are thinking about and what we are talking about is really, really, really subjective. So this is why, how do we cope with, how do we teach people to cope? One way I teach people to do is show themselves some grace. Show yourself some unconditional positive regard. All right? Sometimes some people can't empathize with themselves. Some people don't even know if they say, may I struggle with this, but things can be improved, things can get better.
Yeah.
Some people just genuinely don't think that way. So we are getting to people's negative self-talk.
Yeah.
See, Nick get excited about that too. See, come on, Nick, run in for the self-talk.
No, yeah, do good. Cause we have a few minutes left, and more you keep giving some coping skills, so some we can continue. So give me at least 2 more coping skills before we have to wrap up. Because
all right,
yeah,
they're okay. So we talk about safety behaviors, recognizing what those are. Talk about protective factors. Talk about scaling questions. We also look at changes in behaviors. You might not see them as really necessarily coping skills, but they are really coping because now you get an insight into what the person is struggling with. All right, so we talk about negative self-talk.
One of the things that we do to Mike is have people put together a support system. Like, should I start experiencing some depression before we get to the point where we even get to suicide? Is who are the people in my support circle, my circle of influence, where we can reach out to before it get to the point where it's stressed out?
Right.
When we can trust, when we can open up with a share, and then gonna give me insight and positive regard, positive perspective. Me also make sure say me exercise. Whenever I find myself depressed or stressed out, I make sure say me not put no substance in my system. Me not smoke, me not drink, me not do none of them things there, because them things they only contribute to the mindset of going the wrong way. So me do my best to control that, and then me make sure say exercise is some on my list every day. As much as possible to help me. So we put together positive coping skills to help me whenever I feel down. We are going to boost me, the hormones, the dopamine and the serotonin in my system to help me to feel better about myself.
Right, and then you have, so now another important thing as we are talking about coping skills is to recognize what are the triggers and warning signs for your suicidal ideations. I mean, when we talk about triggers, okay, Neely, if my memory serves me correct, did I mention his wife had a miscarriage, right?
Girlfriend at the time.
Girlfriend at the time had a miscarriage. Somebody else just bringing up that, having that, going through that same thing and bringing it up can trigger you. You cannot watch the news and it trigger you just by having that, hearing somebody bring up that same topic. Because sometimes what we struggle with is unfinished business. We all have unfinished business. That piece of something there where we never really come to grips with. And we always make the mistake of things that we have to find closure to things, but we don't necessarily have to find closure. Closure can simply be, I'm accepting of that this was the situation at the time. And so when you get into, you can cope now by recognizing what is and not what was, or what should be. You have to deal with what is. So you have to keep things in the here and now, in the present moment. If you can't deal with it in the present moment, then you're going to likely struggle because you can't meaningfully change anything what did happen before.
Yeah.
All right. So what are my warning signs now? Is my thinking getting erratic in terms of the things I'm choosing to do? Or am I becoming impulsive? All right. Are my thought patterns becoming negative more so than they normally would be? Am I being realistic about life or am I being philosophical? Because sometimes, too, when you hear people overly philosophical about life, you have to watch that too,
On the stop look for my boss. On the stop look for Yo.
So within context now.
Finish that thought there, Gigs. Because we have to run. I'm going to run. But look, finish that thought there and then we'll wrap up this because we have to go run. But you finish the thought?
Yeah, man.
This was a very insightful. Where can people find you if they need more information? Because the last time you were here, after that, I know you set up a website. What is the website where people can read information and where can people find you to get more information about this? Because this is an ongoing topic. I would love for people to have the necessary resources.
Right. Yeah, so, hey, Neely, Nick, I have to be good enough, Last time I did on the show, no challenge me. Yeah. Man, them ask me, where can I find you? I'm like, Nick said, them man, they're on Facebook,
Yeah.
Still have a Facebook account. But just from that conversation over a year ago or so, what I did, I went ahead and developed a mental health blog. It's called the mentalhealthspace.com. Cover all kind of topic on it: stress, depression, anxiety, suicide, intimate partner violence, how to become a fully functioning person. So you can look on it and you might find more in-depth information about how to cope with the different life challenges that you face.
What's the name of it again?
mentalhealthspace.com.
Yeah, we are gonna drop it. We are dropping another thing, but we have 30 seconds. So, but we really appreciate having you on the podcast this week. And then wealth and knowledge. We're gonna leave a message where people can find us. So let's wrap it up. Thanks again. Let's go. Wrap it up, Neil.
Give thanks. People give thanks again. You know what I mean? Give thanks to a guest. You see me? Go on over to YouTube channel, subscribe, all of them thing there. Yaad&abroad podcast, the body